This is The Scoop for Friday.
I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines. The Florida House is on the verge of passing a controversial bill that seeks to prohibit identity politics from being included in teacher preparation programs at colleges and universities. Under the measure, the programs could not include instruction that would teach identity politics or be based on theories that systemic racism, sexism, oppression, and privilege are inherent in the institutions of the United States and were created to maintain social, political, and economic inequalities. The House took up the bill yesterday, positioning it for a vote as soon as today. Democrats peppered the bill's sponsor with questions about issues such as prohibiting teaching topics related to systemic racism. The Florida legislature's bill to term limit county commissioners appears dead this year. A key sticking point appears to have been how to put those limits on counties that are governed by local charters. Here's the Senate bill sponsor, Republican Blaise Ingoglia, during the bill's most recent hearing.
What this bill represents is what the opponents had asked for, which is allow the people to vote on this, allow them to vote on this. The question then becomes is, do they have, constitutional counties have no way to put it on the ballot. And a lot of the charter counties that actually have term limits or don't have term limits right now, they were never asked the question.
The bill was opposed by a number of county commissioners, especially on behalf of smaller counties. The sponsors say they'll bring the plan back next year. Florida Senate President Kathleen Passidomo said yesterday she thinks that House Speaker Paul Renner and Governor Ron DeSantis are in a really good spot about reaching agreement on a bill aimed at keeping children off social media. The House and Senate passed a bill that is the priority of Renner, but DeSantis has raised concerns about the constitutionality of that bill and possible infringement on parental rights. Passidomo told reporters yesterday that an agreement would likely involve DeSantis vetoing the bill. Lawmakers would then amend onto another bill social media changes that would be acceptable to DeSantis. Passidomo said they're crafting some language they feel will pass constitutional muster. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill that may shed light on how sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein escaped responsibility for decades. The bill will unseal grand jury documents from a 2007 investigation into Epstein that resulted in just 2 charges and a plea deal. DeSantis says releasing the documents could expose any wrongdoing in that process.
And to not have justice on this is something that has been a big black spot on our justice system. So the legislature, and why did that happen? Well, it happened because you had somebody that was very rich and well connected and was able to engineer an outcome that the average citizen would likely never have been able to do, and that's wrong.
DeSantis says if the document release reveals that anyone involved in the legal process committed a crime, he would be open to legislation to waive statute of limitations to go after them. But hours after DeSantis signed the bill, a Palm Beach County Circuit judge denied a public records request for the documents. The judge laid out a blueprint for how the information could be made available after the new law takes effect on July 1st. New College of Florida is hiring a professor who once published an article arguing in favor of colonialism. That's what the college announced in a press release yesterday. The Sarasota Herald-Tribune reports that Bruce Gilley, a political science professor at Portland State University and the author of The Case for Colonialism, will be one of the college's first hires as presidential scholar in residence. That's a non-tenure track teaching position at the college akin to a visiting professorship. The Florida Senate approved a wide-ranging bill yesterday that would ban the sale of what Governor Ron DeSantis has described as fake meat. The Republican-controlled Senate voted 26-10 to pass the bill, which would make changes related to the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. The part of the bill that has drawn the most attention is a proposed ban on the sale and manufacture of cultivated meat, which is often called lab-grown meat. The bill would also prevent local governments from regulating electric vehicle charging stations. It will be breezy, cloudy, and hot today with highs in the low 80s. Tonight, overcast with overnight lows in the mid-60s. It'll be warm with scattered showers and thunderstorms later tomorrow. Highs will be in the high 70s. I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.